Alright, we have reached part 2 of our lecture, in which previously we have covered on the topic of structure of phrases, and now we're gonna go into the first type of phrase that we are going to learn in depth, which is the noun phrase. We have established previously that a noun phrase can be formed using different formulas or using a combination of different word classes. For example, article plus noun in an example of a noun phrase, the tree, and then article plus adjectives plus noun, the big tree, article plus noun plus prepositional phrase, the tree in the forest, and determiner plus adjective plus a noun phrase is another combination of phrases, or sorry, another combination of words that can help to form a noun phrase. Noun phrase basically referring to expressions that are used to refer to a particular instances or general classes of people and things. And noun phrase function in the clauses as subjects, objects, complements, and adjuncts. Okay, so we're going to go in depth later on the different functions of noun phrases. Previously, we have learned that a head can be modified by pre-modifiers or post-modifiers, and these pre-modifiers and post-modifiers are also known as dependent elements. Yeah, in which it needs a head to make it complete. Yeah, and these dependent elements can be in the form of determiners, modifiers, or complements. For example, the tall woman, those big boxes in the garage. So these are the modifiers in the form of adjectives and prepositional phrase. The fact that he was no longer a little boy. So this is the noun, and this whole thing is a that clause. This, when you see the word that followed by a set of a sentence at the back, we call it a that clause. Yeah, and that clause is a dependent clause that needs an independent clause to complete its meaning. These are further examples on how noun phrases consist of constituents or dependent elements or phrases, modifiers in the form of determiner, pre-modifier in the form of adjective, the head itself, the presence of the head, and a post-modifier. So all these are noun phrases with its dependent elements. Yeah, for example, dark eyes. So we have the pre-modifier adjective, and then we have the head noun, which is the eyes. Okay, and then here we have another example, slightly longer, all the books we read, in which this particular clause, this is a clause, yeah, okay, it is the books here is being pre-modified by the indefinite pronoun all, article the, and post-modified by a clause, by a finite clause. Okay, and then here the next one, we have these boring books discussed in class. This sentence, okay, these boring books, if you look at only in this noun phrase here, okay, it is being pre-modified by a determiner pronoun, by an adjective, and then the book as the head of noun, and discussed in class is the same as a finite clause. We're going to go into what does it mean by finite clauses, non-finite clauses in our upcoming lessons. And this is more examples on how a head noun or a noun can be pre and post modified by its dependent elements. Yeah, for example, here determiners, complement, where after the head noun it can be post modified plus a complement. For example, in the sentence, students of languages at Cambridge. Okay, so students of languages is the complement. Yeah, students is the noun phrase, of languages is the complement, and at Cambridge is the prepositional phrase in a form of post modifier, or which plays the function or the role as a post modifier. When dealing with pre-modifiers, we need to know the different types, okay, of pre-modifiers, and normally these are the two types of pre-modifiers lah that is not commonly paired with a head noun. For example, adjective phrase, okay, a very important meeting. So meeting is the noun, pain is the noun, and here important, okay, this is an adjective phrase, okay, adjective. Okay, here is an adjective. And then noun phrase, it can be like, for example, a stone wall, first year graduate seminar. So this is the noun, wall is the noun, and this is another NP or noun phrase to modify the wall. To modify the word wall. So noun phrases also can be in the form of all the different forms of pronouns. For example, determiner. Okay, determiner is also a noun phrase, yeah, because it belongs to the family of a noun. So for example, determiner, we have not just the articles. Okay, determiner, we have established that it can be in a form of articles, right? Okay, sorry. So here we have the and a and an. Okay, let me erase this first. Oops, sorry. Okay, let me erase this. Another form of determiner can also be in a form of possessive pronoun. In the form of possessive pronoun. So that's why it becomes a noun phrase that can, or a noun that modifies another noun. So possessive pronoun, for example, these, okay, these books, okay, so this is in the form of noun phrase or a determiner, okay, and it modifies the head books, okay, so that is what it means by noun phrases can modify another noun or a head noun, yeah. So pre-modifiers can be in a form of two types, or can be modified, or sorry, a head noun can be modified by two types of pre-modifiers, adjectives and noun phrases. In contrast to in contrast to pre-modifier, we have post-modifier. Okay, where we have learned that noun phrase can be post-modified as well, and the post-modifier can be in different forms. For example, number one is a relative clause. Here, the example that I've given here: the manager who proposed the plan, the hat which I bought. So here we can have the relative clause to, which I bought here, okay, to modify the noun phrase the hat, who proposed the plan to modify the manager. So how do we know that that clause is a relative clause? So you look at words like who, which, okay, these are the common, when, where. So these are the common words that, or the common lexical that is considered or classified as a relative words, yeah. And then next we have prepositional phrase. For example, those piles on exam floors are exam papers from last year. Okay, so on exam floor is a PP or prepositional phrase. From last year is also a PP. And on exam floor here modifies the noun phrase those piles, while from last year modify the noun phrase exam papers. Okay, so it can be, a noun phrase can be modified by a prepositional phrase. And then the next one is a noun phrase can also be modified by a to infinitive, no classes, okay. Alright, or just classes, okay. To attend is a to infinitive, modify the noun phrase no classes, okay, or classes. And then you also, another one is ing participle. For example, the clothes hanging over there. Hanging over there is an ing participle. Modify the noun phrase the clothes. The employee having a meeting. Having here modifies, or having a meeting modifies the noun phrase the employee. Alright, in this image, okay, I have listed out all the manner how a noun phrase can be pre-modified and post-modified. Okay, and here for example, number one, the small stone cottage which he bought 3 years ago. Okay, so the head is cottage, yeah, and the word cottage or the noun cottage is pre-modified by a determiner and also by the noun phrase small stone, small stone, and post-modified by a relative clause. So you can take a look here, and this is relative clause. Yeah, it's being how you can see how relative clause can post modify the noun phrase or the head cottage. Okay, and the remaining of it, I invite you to read it on your own and please digest it, how a noun phrase is accompanied or is modified by pre-modifiers and post modifiers, and pre-modifiers comes in the form of adjectives and noun phrases, and post modifier comes in forms like relative clauses, prepositional phrase, to infinitives, and ing phrase or ing participle. All right, we have reached to our brain teaser activity number 2. So I invite all of you to complete this task on your own based on your understanding on what noun phrase is all about. In this short exercise, I need you to identify the noun phrase in the following sentences. Okay, so all you have to do is read sentence 1 until the final sentence and identify all the noun phrases. And perhaps in one sentence, there could be more than one noun phrase. Okay, have fun and good luck. In a previous lesson, we have learned that a phrase can be deconstructed according to its structure and its functions. Yeah, so we have learned that how a noun phrase can be structured or can be constructed using dependent elements of pre-modifiers as well as post-modifiers in the form of adjectives, prepositional phrase, or noun phrases, or relative clauses, and so on and so forth. And also we have learned that a phrase in particular the noun phrase, yeah, can be deconstructed or can be broken down into several levels. For example, it can be broken down into functional level and also structural level. So we know that those are the structures already of what makes up a phrase or how a phrase is formed or constructed or written. Yeah, but now we're going to move on to the second part of a phrase, which is we have to also know how a phrase function in a sentence. What does the role of the noun phrase and how it functions, or basically, you know, how it contributes to the overall meaning of the sentence. Yeah, and for a noun phrase, there are 5 distinctive functions that it plays in a sentence. Number 1 is subject of a verb. For example, the tall tree fell down in the storm. So you can see that the subject of a verb here, how it becomes the subject of the verb. Okay, so we know that the noun phrase here is tree, the one that I have highlighted in green. Tree, yeah, and we also know that we also have established previously that this sentence can be divided into subject and predicate. Yeah, okay, so why do I say that the first function here is the subject of a verb? Okay, so we take a look at the verb here, fell down, or this is a verb phrase fell down in the storm, or the predicator okay, the predicator here, it needs a subject. Okay, it needs something to show who is the doer of the action. So I can ask questions like, what fell down? And the answer is the tall tree. So when you answer, therefore, the tall tree here thus becomes the subject of the verb. The subject or the doer of the action fell down. Yeah, so that is function number 1. Function number 2 is object of a verb. Okay, for example here, I wish to see the manager. The manager is the noun phrase. Okay, so we have established that. Okay, the one in green, the manager is the noun phrase, and I wish to see here is the verb. Okay, who do you wish to see? Who? Okay, who? So I wish to see the manager. So this is the noun phrase. So this becomes the object of the verb. Yeah, so another word for it is direct object lah. Okay, so this is the a noun phrase can also function as an object of the verb depending on where it is placed in a sentence. Next is, okay, sorry. Okay, next is complement of a verb. Okay, the next one is complement of a verb. Here, like in this sentence, Mr. James is a handsome man. Okay, so you look at this one here and compare number 3 and number 2. Okay, complement of a verb. So here we are looking at the one that I have put in green is a handsome man. So this is the noun phrase. However, I did not label this as the object of the verb. Why is that? Why can't this be object of the verb when is also a verb? Okay, but okay, based on our previous physical lesson before this is known as linking verb or copular verb. Yeah, copular verb, and this is action verb. This is action verb, so it's different. Yeah, so if it is if there's an action verb there, therefore the object that or the noun phrase that follows after the action verb is known as the direct or indirect object lah. So object of the verb. However, after a linking verb or after a copular verb, this a handsome man is not a direct object. It's not, but it is known as the complement of the verb. A complement of the verb, meaning that this noun phrase actually completes the the linking verb. Okay, if without the noun phrase here, let's say if you don't put any noun phrase here, yeah, Mr. James is, okay, so it becomes hanging. Okay, so that's why it becomes a complement of the verb. So this is the difference between number 2 and number 3. Yeah, so why number 2 here is an object, the function become object of the verb, while number 3 here the function becomes complement of the verb. It depends on the type of verbs that is being used together with the noun phrase. Okay. Alright, function number 4 is object of preposition. Mohan is confident of winning the race. So when there's the word, if you see the preposition here like this, of winning the race. Okay, so here we have the race here. This is the noun phrase. So what do you call that? The noun phrase here function as the object of preposition of winning apa? Of the race. Yeah. Okay, and then the final one is apposition to a noun. Okay, I think this is the most how to say the most clear-cut and easiest function of the noun lah, or of a noun phrase. Here, where it refers to the same subject, referral to the same subject. For example, here Ravi, an intelligent boy. So Ravi here, okay, an intelligent boy here is referring to Ravi. So this phrase here, this is a noun phrase. Yeah, this is a noun phrase, and intelligent, this noun phrase is to opposite or to actually to refer to the subject of the sentence, Ravi. Okay, cannot make such a mistake. So there you go. Those are the 5 functions of noun phrases, which is quite clear-cut, but it can be quite tricky when you want to differentiate between the function number 2 and function number 3. But the key is to look at the verb, whether the verb is an action verb or whether the verb is linking or copular verb. Action verb requires a direct or indirect object, while linking verb requires a complement rather than a object. Yeah, but sometimes, okay, there are some copula or linking verb that requires an object depending on the context. But for now, this is sufficient. This is suffice for you to understand. There are 5 different functions to a noun phrase. Okay, next activity is brain teaser 3. For brain teaser 3, you are required to find all NPs or noun phrase in the sentence below and state the function for each NP, okay, or for each noun phrase. So for example here, okay, I help you with number 1, my head hurts. My head hurts. So here we have, first you identify lah, okay, which one is the noun phrase. First you have to identify the noun phrase, and this is the noun phrase. My head hurts. So what is the function of this particular noun phrase? Is the subject of the verb, object of the verb, complement of the verb, object of preposition, or a position to a noun? Okay, so here next we're gonna take a look at the verb. Okay, so my head hurts here. This verb requires a doer, requires a person who does the action. So my question would be, what hurts? Okay, what hurts? Okay, my head hurts. So therefore, okay, this my head or this noun phrase here becomes the subject of the verb. Okay, sorry. Okay, subject of the verb. Okay, so I just put subject, SV lah, as a short form. So the rest of it, I invite you to do it on your own, and hopefully we have the time to and I will check on all your answers after we come back to class after Hari Raya. Okay. Okay, next activity is brain teaser 4. For brain teaser 4, you only have to do to complete all these multiple choice questions. Yeah, if I'm mistaken, there are only 4 questions in the upcoming slides. So test your knowledge on noun phrase and read the questions and choose the correct answer. This question number 3, followed by question number 4. Okay, everyone, that's all for now. We have covered quite a lot today. We have covered from the very notion, from the very basic component of a phrase, which is the head, and then the structure of a phrase that consists of functional level and structural level. We have also explored more on the different makeups of noun phrase and how it how do we construct a noun phrase, and how a noun can be pre-modified and post-modified, okay, by different types of components, okay, grammatical functions in which it can transform the noun into a much more extended noun phrase. And finally, we have also looked at the different functions of a noun phrase that it plays within a sentence. Okay, all right, so don't forget to complete all the brain teasers activities that I have given within the slides, and also you have a quiz for you to answer in which it will be released by teams on after this, and all of you are required to answer the quiz before Thursday, okay, before Thursday ends basically, yeah, and submit all your questions via our teams. Okay, so good luck everyone, selamat berpuasa, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.